Anything to
I
add?
make a motion, unless one of you do.
No?
I make a motion to accept the agenda as written.
Need a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. I don't see any reason why we can't see if we can get right into RDAs. Is anybody here for Kingsway? Just read the spiel here, please. On November 20th, 2017, at their 6 p.m. meeting at the Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Carl Joost for a determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to repair a septic system on property at 17 Kingsway, Scituate. Butters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Greg.
Good evening. For the record, Gregory Morse, registered engineer, Morse Engineering. This is a septic system repair project at 17 Kingsway, property owned by the applicant Carl Joost. Pointing to the plan here, the property line is shown in bold. There's an existing 4-bedroom house centrally located on the lot. At the rear of the property, we have a bordering vegetated wetland that was delineated by Brad Holmes, a professional wetland scientist. Off of the wetlands, we have a 50-foot buffer shown in red and a 100-foot buffer shown in green. The existing septic system is located at the back of the house, partially within the 50-foot buffer zone. We're proposing a new septic system. The new septic system is a new septic tank at the back of the house with a new leaching system on the northern side of the house. All of the work proposed by this project is outside of the 50-foot buffer. All of the work is within areas that are existing lawn area. It will be restored as lawn area. The septic system is designed in accordance with Title V. I submitted with the RDA the presumption that's written in the Wetlands Protection Act, 310 CMR 10.03, subsection 3, which is the presumption concerning Title V, stating that septic system repair projects outside of the 50-foot buffer zone meet the performance standards of the Act. I did receive an email from your agent regarding an off-site resource area. There is a portion of the Scituate Brook off-site. The riverfront does extend onto this site. The wetland regulations, as far as riverfront, specifically exempt septic system projects. I attached that, which is 310 CMR 10.58. It specifically exempts on-site sewage disposal systems, the repair and upgrade to those. So I did not depict the brook, but the riverfront certainly extends onto the back of this site.
So the state doesn't care if it seeps into the river?
I mean, the river is, you know, it's 100 or so feet back from the BVW line. So we're holding the setbacks to the BVW.
Well, it's just an interesting comment that you made, not on this particular one, but say it was only 20 feet away, they wouldn't care.
Well, because it's more important to them to have a system processing the waste.
Yes, but...
Then, like,
yeah.
if you put a cesspool 20 feet from the river, you're not processing the waste. You're
No.
just putting raw sewerage, and this system is going to treat it and process it.
Well, I just find that interesting.
Yeah, well, when you think of a river, there's really two resources associated. There's the riverfront area, which is the 200-foot setback.
Right.
And that's what they're saying is that work within the riverfront area is exempted. Also associated with the river, though, is the river bank. So if you had an inland bank, which this certainly does, you would have to have at least a 50-foot setback to that. We greatly exceed that at this location because of the BVW.
Okay, no, I was just, that was
Yeah.
just an interesting
Yeah.
comment, something to
Paul?
No, it's good.
Lisa?
I have nothing.
Jen? Amy?
Maybe I'm largely also good. I mean, it's a repair of a failed
Right.
system. I did talk to Greg about adding a notation to the plan about the riverfront area, just so there's no confusion down the road with people relying on the plan showing it all its resource areas. Even though we're not accepting the boundaries under this request, it would be nice to have that note on it. And just of note, Board of Health has not reviewed this plan yet, so approval would be subject to,
Board of Health.
yeah, Board of Health approval and revisions that they would require.
Greg, any sediment controls in this when you're doing it?
At the limit of work, we have a silt fence proposed.
And when do you expect to hear from Board of Health? Within a week or
They-
two, or?
I would expect so. They have 45 days to review a plan. This was submitted, I believe, November 3rd, so
Okay,
we're hopeful that it's soon.
yeah.
Negative 3.
Okay. The audience?
Anyone in anyone in the audience for this?
Bending over. Make a motion for -3 with the
BOH.
Board of Health approval
I second.
to come.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
I,
Amy's like the catcher, she's over there, -3. Throwing the signals, yeah.
Hey, listen.
we need all the help.
Really, we should come up with signs, you can just go like -3, -2.
I always get confused with -3, -2, when you throw in the other ones.
Is someone here for Martha's Common Street?
Yes.
You're here for that too?
They're all his.
You're a busy man.
While I'm up there.
We may split them
Can I
up
make the
after.
same spiel, just change the address?
Exactly right. On November 20th, 2017, at their 6 PM meeting at the Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Mary and Peter Marathas for a determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to repair a septic system on the property located at 17 Common Street, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Greg.
Again, for the record, Gregory Morse, representing the Marathases, 17 Common Street. This is a septic system upgrade project. The property line is in bold. Common Street is at the bottom of the plan. This is the access driveway into the Wheeler Park development. Existing house at this location. What we're proposing to do here is we're proposing to replace the failed septic system with a new one, which consists of a new septic tank at this location and a new leaching chamber bed at this location. What we have for resources out here is we have a bordering vegetated wetland off-site to the west and a bordering vegetated wetland off-site to the south on the opposite side of the Wheeler Park driveway. The septic where we've sited it is greater than 100 feet from the wetlands. However, the grading associated with our septic goes to about 90 feet from the wetlands. It's all located in an area that's existing lawn, and it would be returned as lawn.
I don't have any questions on it.
Looks good.
It's straightforward one.
Lisa?
It's an improvement. That looks good.
Houses for sale.
Jennifer?
You gotta get them
Amy?
up to
No
snuff.
comment, looks good.
It's not negative, I make a motion, Board of Health?
Pending Board of Health. They're waiting for you,
Yeah, I think that
so
Jen and I talked about it, and I think this one's pretty much all set.
should be.
Yeah.
So,
But should I still
yeah.
put that
I
in
would
the
still
motion?
have it,
Yes,
I would
because
still
they
have it in the
haven't-
motion,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. I make a motion for a -3 upon receipt of approval by the Board of Health.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Done. Okay, it is not 6:15 yet, so we'll keep going on to Greenfield Lane. On November 20th, 2017, at the 6 PM meeting at the Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act upon the request of Glenn Doyle for a determination of the applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to repair a septic system on property located at 67 Greenfield Lane, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend.
Again, Gregory Morse, representing the property owner Glenn Doyle at 67 Greenfield Lane. Referring to the plan, property line in bold, the house is centrally located on the lot. Greenfield Lane is at the bottom of the page here. Resource areas are on the opposite side of the street on Greenfield Lane. This is the edge of a salt marsh. The 50-foot buffer zone delineated in red and the 100-foot buffer zone in green. What we've proposed here is the upgrade of a failed septic system. The upgrade consists of a new septic tank at this location and a new leaching chamber bed located in the front yard. All of the work is outside of the 50-foot wetland buffer. All of the work is being performed in existing lawn area and would go back as lawn area. We have an erosion control barrier at the down gradient limit of work right here, consisting of a straw wattle. This one, again, would be pending Board of Health approval.
A lot of houses for sale in town.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions on it.
No questions.
Lisa?
Look good.
Amy?
Okay, so I did want to chime in on this one, Greg.
Okay.
You may have seen it, but across Greenfield, there's a pretty large dumping area that's obviously used by more than one resident, where I think they're just trucking it across and dumping it down the embankment.
We've spoken about that in the past. It came up. There's a landscaper that he thinks it's his private dumping ground.
Okay, but is it Doyle?
It's not, it's the landscaper, the man that comes to mow the lawn that's doing the dumping. It's not,
Is he doing it for Doyle?
he's doing it for the whole neighborhood, I believe.
But is he doing it for Doyle though?
I couldn't tell you, but I remember Pat was on this, this was a few years back, it did come up. And I had hoped it had stopped, but I guess it hasn't.
Right, so just wondering if this might be a good opportunity to try to get people to cooperate and maybe while you have equipment out there, remove it, you know? Take a dump truck of liquids out.
I guess I would want to know if Doyle is the one that's hiring these people, and
Or-
if so,
or
I
even-
would totally agree.
Even if they're hiring them, if they're not instructing them to dump, you know, if you hire someone who mows your lawn and they take the grass away, you're not responsible for where they dump it.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's next door or down the street or...
Unless it's on your
the person who dumped it is the
Offender.
problem, is the offender, yeah.
So you're talking about the area that goes over
You
toward
talk
the...
to Pat, he'll remember.
I have.
Oh,
That's one
and
of-
he didn't bring that up? I remember it vividly.
We discussed earlier that this could be a good opportunity to get buy-in from the people that are in this area
Yeah.
to stop dumping and to maybe clean it up while you have equipment out there. I mean, I don't want to peg it all on this owner, but
Sure.
since you have a rapport with them, maybe you can get the conversation directed our way, you know?
I can certainly bring it up to, I don't even know who owns the property across the street. I don't have that on my records here, so I don't know that we're even, obviously, the filling was done illegally, it sounds like. I don't know that we have permission to go in and remove it. I'll certainly bring it up to my client and direct them to contact you about it. I don't know if they're responsible for it or not, though.
Any help
So-
we could get would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Right, they might even be able to
Totally
tell,
understand.
they might be able to tell you who's doing it, or
Yeah.
watch them and say, yeah, it's
Is this
this
the area that goes over
landscape.
to the salt marsh? Is this where you're talking about across the
Yes,
street?
across the street. It's not on Doyle's property, it's
Right.
across the
Right,
street.
right.
And it did come up before.
Yep.
Pat had noticed it, and I forget whose project it was down there. And,
But the reality is whoever is dumping it,
They're
they're
still-
the
well, they're
responsible.
still dumping it.
They're the responsible party.
obviously, they didn't stop when they were asked. And I do believe at the time, we found out who the landscaper was that was dumping it.
It wouldn't be difficult to find out who owns the land. I mean,
I
we,
think it's town.
No,
owns
not-
more than-
yeah.
But even if you get the owner, if they're not the landscaping company that's dumping,
Yeah.
if I was the owner, I'd say go pound sand, I didn't dump that.
I think it's
you know.
hard to require anything here, but any help would be greatly appreciated.
Or if they know
Right,
who is
exactly.
dumping it, let us, give us a name, and then
That
we
would be
could
really helpful, Greg.
go after them.
Well, and I think for, as a seller, it would probably be in their interest to get, you know, this, which would be kind of a negative thing about the neighborhood. Maybe try to
Yeah,
get
well,
something
it's
going.
not healthy for the marsh across the street. to have
well, it doesn't hurt to ask the Doyles if they are out, having lawn materials dumped over there.
Right,
If they are, then they can just ask whoever they've contracted not to do it.
right. And they, if they're not doing it, they might be able to tell you who they see
Yeah,
over
they
there
might be
doing it.
helpful,
Right, yeah.
I'll certainly reach out to them.
Appreciate that.
Great.
In the meantime, I make a motion for a -3 pending Board of Health approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this one is not yours, the last one is yours.
And
Oh, you're leaving? This is it?
No, he is more.
okay, but at 6:15, I want to see if we can kind of stick to the schedule where after this, we have continuances. Hatherley Country Club, is there someone here for Hatherley?
That's Greg, and that's a
Requested a
continuance.
continuance to December 11th.
Yeah, just a moment, please. Wait. So, why do I have it's not the 4th, it's the 11th.
Right.
We didn't get
And they're
that.
out of order.
That's
Yes,
okay.
I see, okay,
I already gave Pino the time.
20. All right, so I make a motion that we continue Hatherley Country Club to 6:15, first one up,
I second.
on December 11th.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Town of Scituate has also requested a continuance,
Okay, wait a second.
and then we'll move back to...
We're rolling.
To January 8th.
Yes.
Gardner.
Town of Scituate, Gardner Road, correct.
I make a motion. All right, and we're gonna be starting at 6:15?
Correct, from here on, the meeting started at
Yeah,
6:15.
okay. I make a motion
Good, 'cause I-
to continue 2632 Gardner Road, Town of Scituate, to January 8th at 6:25.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Go back now, yeah, we can go back now to the final RDA. Is someone here for Edward Foster? RDA, just making sure you know you're here.
And I don't know if you
I know
noticed
you've gone
this,
through the
but
first 3 already.
this is
Yes.
6:20 as well.
We're efficient tonight, Paul.
Pardon?
We're being efficient.
It's flying.
Okay, that's it.
6:20, yeah. So when you go
There
back,
we go. Let me read my little spiel here. Yes, I do. On November 20th, 2017, during their 6 PM meeting at Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act upon the request of Kelly Driscoll for a determination of the applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to construct a covered porch and install a bay window on the property located at 149 Edward Foster Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
My name is Paul Marabito from Ross Engineering Company, representing the owner and applicant for the project. They've recently purchased the existing dwelling on the west side of Edward Foster Road, which is directly across from the new seawall the town recently had constructed. This is Conroy Terrace over here, and this here goes out to the end of Edward Foster Road. The orange line is the 100-foot buffer zone from the top of the seawall. They're proposing to put a covered porch across the front of the existing house. It would come out 10 feet and go the full length of the house. The closest point to the seawall is 82 feet on this corner, and it's 88.7 feet on this corner here. It is separated from the resource area by the existing public way. We show a proposed silt sock in this location that'll be installed prior to work. This will be a poured concrete frost wall There's also a small portion of a bay window on this side of the house that will be constructed just inside the 100-foot buffer zone as well. This is the FEMA flood zone line in here. This is Zone X from here up. This is AE 15, so all the work is outside of the FEMA flood zone as well, but it is within 100 feet of a seawall. So with that, I'll end and answer any questions you may have.
How are you going to access the site?
Pardon?
How are you accessing the site?
How do we access the site?
Yeah, from where? I just can't see
The
this far
road,
away.
the road in front of it. It's,
The road goes right in front of it.
There's a driveway in here, they can come down.
Oh, okay, so there's a driveway, okay.
Penny?
I think I missed. What's the pink line? Thanks.
Oh, this is the FEMA flood zone line.
That's the FEMA flood.
Comes in, comes up, and also goes over.
Okay, my question, it's just, I'm nosy.
There's two
Well,
or three of them there.
there's a 100-foot buffer, but I'm not finding a 50-foot. So I was wondering, is,
Well, the 50-foot would be out in the street here.
because it's from the seawall.
yeah, no, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I don't see it on the
Yeah.
plan, so that's why I was getting a little confused. Is he
Oh,
coming
sure.
from
I
which
can show you.
side?
Right.
All right,
I
So
just
split that, yeah.
Okay.
82 and 88.
okay. All right, I don't know, I'm gonna defer to Amy on this one.
I'm guessing that's what, lawn now? The area where this is going, yeah. Yeah, no.
Changing the grade.
I got no questions. No further questions.
Lisa?
Okay, so it's in the 100, it's already lawn, I have no questions.
Okay, Amy.
Yeah, I don't really have much comment here either. I mean, it's pretty substantial distance away from the coastal bank at the time of the wall. So, and we're not delineating the resource areas, it's just the distance and whether or not the work within the buffer would have impact. And so I would say that probably -3.
Is the porch raised at all? I might have missed it, I'm sorry if I did.
Pardon?
Is the porch raised at all?
Raised?
It's a covered,
Above the ground, like
is it above
what?
the ground?
Oh, there's a set of stairs that go up to the first floor.
Okay.
First floor of the house is 20, the ground here is 18. So,
Yeah.
The first floor of that porch is, it's only about 2.5 feet above the ground.
Okay, and what,
There's a small set of stairs
okay,
that go from the grade up.
what's supporting the porch?
Pardon?
Is it on
What is
pilings,
supporting the porch?
sonotubes?
But it's a frost wall made of reinforced concrete. It's a foundation wall. We'll be down 4 feet for frost protection on the plan.
Thank you.
That's mentioned in the...
I'm sorry,
description as well.
okay, thank you.
We like to hear it from you.
Is there anybody in the audience for Edward Foster?
I make a motion for -3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sir.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
You
Happy
too.
Thanksgiving.
Eat lots of turkey and pie.
Okay,
Lisa, behave.
this one isn't forwarded, right? This one,
That's the next one on the agenda.
It's gonna be-
So is anybody here for Coletti?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's out of order,
Oh, you
but it
need-
says 6:20.
Oh,
We need to continue Collier.
well, wait a minute, but it's...
Collier's 6:25, Coletta's 6:20.
The times are out of order.
It's out of order.
6:35 for, I'm Coletti, I had 6:35 on.
Oh, well, you know what, it could just...
It could be a typo.
Could be a typo.
You know what, let's do this. We're late enough to go ahead and do the continuance for Collier Road.
Okay.
Just, how long?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
When do we want to redo?
It says
Collier.
continuance to 12/11, correct?
12/11.
Okay, wait a second, let me see.
Why was
what
it continued?
Because we
Requested.
have
Reviewing
info to
the peer
read.
review.
So we have,
What,
I don't know if you've seen this online, but we got a long peer review for
Any until
43
after
Collier.
the pin open.
Okay, I don't want that 'cause
After.
that's-
It's in your emails.
okay, well, let me
Like-
see.
Oh, it's crashed.
625 notes.
I know.
6:30.
And then I had to rebuild it, and I couldn't remember the
Okay, so
password.
6:35.
Yes, we have two new NOIs.
This is my enforcement list.
The culverts.
Those are on.
Yeah.
Those are 40 and 45. So I make a motion to continue 43 Collier to December 11th at 6:35.
Have a second?
Second.
We could make an announcement about sunset also.
Yeah, wait a second. Collier. Do you want to take a vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry.
No,
It's a
there's
team sport. Everybody's pushing the ball down the field. That's right.
That's right.
We just continue to any time on the 11th. Okay. Just any time you want to give sunset on the 11th.
Wait a second.
Except,
Sunset, we had already done.
yeah, we did something.
We did that last
meeting.
meeting. And
Well,
they're
no,
at
but we went to
6:20.
the 4th.
Pardon me? Okay.
So now since we don't have a quorum on the 4th and we're going to the 11th, we just want to make an announcement to make sure that
That's
people
fine,
know.
yes, I understand. I'll make a motion to continue 23 Sunset to December 11th at 6:20.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Could I make a comment right now on that? On the December 11th, we will only have 3 people to hear Sunset.
Why?
Because you're out.
No, I'm out the
Lisa's-
4th. I'm not out the 11th.
I'm out the 4th, not the 11th.
Oh, then everybody's here, then I
Yeah.
can cross you off. Okay.
That's why it's going to the 11th.
All right, but folks said they were out. That's, hey,
Can
listen.
you imagine the vote being incorrect?
Well, that's why it scared me.
Okay,
All right, so everyone will be here.
thank you, Penny. Thank you, Penny.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to 6:30, 7 Milton Septic Repair. I knew you were here. How are you?
Good, very good.
Want to just identify yourself and
Robert Crawford, I'm representing the owner, Paul Iyer. That's how you pronounce it.
I need to read this too, don't I? On November 20th, 2017, at 6:30 in the Town Hall, Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 3700 of the Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Paul Hayhere to repair a septic system on property located at 7 Milton Street, Hummerock. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend, and I hope I did that name correctly.
Your guess is as good as mine.
We'll go with it,
Actually,
How are you tonight, Bob?
good, very good. This is a mandated replacement of a cesspool, very small lot on the northerly side of Milton Street between River Street and the ocean, about halfway in between. It's in the out of 100-foot riparian zone, coastal dune, and land subject to coastal storm flowage. Floodplain being elevation 13. We are replacing the old cesspool with a 1,000-gallon septic tank and 448 square feet of leaching chambers. Approximately 3,187 square feet out of the 3,200 square feet are in the riparian zone. And the amount of work is approximately 400 square feet. I'll try to answer any questions you have.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. There's no other place to put it. The lot is really tight.
I should point out that there are several variances, 5 that are requested, and the Board of Health has to hold a hearing on it, which will be on the 27th,
27th, right?
right?
In Hummerock, only 5 variances, that's good. How many, I'm sure it's on here somewhere, how many bedroom system is this?
It's 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
The bells, everything ringing tonight.
Thought I shut my phone off, I'm so sorry.
It's not a fire drill, it's
And
okay.
I don't even know how to shut mine off, so, but nobody calls me, so that's fine.
Okay, Penny?
No, I'm all set with it.
Evidently, I don't know how to shut my phone off either.
That's what happens when you make fun of me, Lisa.
Frank's never
know.
leaving another meeting.
No, he may never come back.
Any questions?
Maybe
No
I'll
questions.
just leave it up here just in case.
Lisa, I'm afraid to ask, but do you have any questions?
I'm none.
Jen?
Oh, well.
Amy?
Nothing. A big improvement.
Yes.
So the orders of
Under
condition
that
will be,
RFA, what,
Hold on a second, Penny,
Yeah.
please. Excuse me. Anyone in the audience for 7 Milton Street?
okay, the orders of conditions will be subject to the Board of Health approval. That's all I wanted to know.
She has reviewed it and basically approved the plan. A couple of little drafting
But we have
errors
to get
on here,
the
but,
official approval.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I make a motion to close.
Subject to BOH.
Yes, subject to the Board of Health. It's an NOI.
oh, right. I'm like, it's a resource area, yeah.
We,
Standard, yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
oh, well, we
Trying
did
to
it
keep
tonight.
it
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too, sir. You're so professional. Nice lady.
What's she on?
Okay, people here for Coletti now. We are, relatively speaking, on time. This never happens.
I was gonna recycle.
Okay, good, thank you.
Nothing to read on this one.
Great. For the record, Gregory Morse Engineering, representing Janet Coletti. This is a septic system repair project at 28A Cherry Lane. We filed a notice of intent because work is proposed in a resource area, the FEMA floodplain. Showing you the plan, the property line here is shown in bold. Cherry Lane is at the bottom of the page. The existing house is located here on the lot. The salt marsh runs along the eastern border and wraps around the northern side of this lot. Extending off of that in red, I have the 50-foot buffer zone, and in green, the 100-foot buffer zone. The FEMA flood line is an AE zone. You'll see that depicted by a dashed line. It runs through the middle of the existing house. Right now, the system is served by a cesspool. The cesspool is located in the backyard. It failed a Title V inspection. What we're proposing to do is we're proposing to reroute the plumbing to a new septic tank at this location and a new leaching system, which is in the front yard of the house. The leaching system itself is 58 feet from the salt marsh. It is located within the FEMA floodplain, which, as you'll see, encompasses the majority of the lot. But we're not proposing to change the grade in the front of the house at all. The proposed grade matches the existing grade. So we're not changing the flood storage capacities or anything at this location. All of the work is within the existing lawn area, and we're proposing an erosion control consisting of a straw wattle at the down gradient limit of work on the edge of the driveway there. Board of Health has approved this plan, so it should be ready to go.
Penny?
No, I don't have anything.
No questions.
Lisa?
I have nothing.
Amy?
Looks good.
Anyone in the audience for this?
Okay, I make a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for the good preparation. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We actually have a minute or two before 6:40. Penny, you want to get anything, minutes or anything into the record?
Yes, I make a motion that we accept the minutes of October 10th and October 23rd, both as written.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That didn't take very long, did it?
No, it didn't.
Well, I think of it, is everybody aware that at the town meeting last week, the parking lots were all approved and theoretically funded at least. So all of the work that Frank and you, Penny, put in to get all of that done, you deserve a
I'm glad we
large
asked for the whole
kudos.
thing. Imagine if you did all that and didn't ask for the whole.
I know, it got a little nerve-wracking, and I was a good girl. I prompted Frank out in the hall, made him get up and answer all the questions. And I just sat there saying my prayers, and then we finally did pass. So, hopefully, the RFP will be out by the first of the year, because Crosby I want done, I want it cleared, I want everything done in the wetlands. Well, it's frozen this winter. So, I just have to keep nudging the boys, and hopefully by spring we'll definitely have some parking areas. And the trail system, that's another one that,
That also got approved, the trails
yes,
and
it
mapping.
did, the mapping, which is going to be a big help to people, to get out there and use them, so.
I think there are a lot of kudos to go around for a lot of people, but you and Frank really
Yeah.
were very much the driving force, so.
And, well, I'm just glad it's been a long time coming, and we're finally gonna have access to the properties that were specifically bought for recreation. There's a whole bunch that we bought just for water protection.
Yep.
And they'll stay for water protection, but the ones we bought specifically for recreation or use will
Be great.
have parking for everyone. That includes ADA, and, we're really looking forward.
Excellent.
The residents will enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of people taking a lot of advantage of it, even people from the other parts of town. I
Well,
really do.
you know what, we're hoping that in time, once these are up and running, we'll start getting out-of-towners coming. And then they'll go down the village. And once there's a new pub, they might have lunch, or they might venture down the harbor. I think just like the playground in North Scituate Village, that's a mob scene every weekend. And even in the freezing cold, there's people over there with their kids. And so I'm hoping that when we have the parking area, we'll start getting smarter towners come, walk our trails, visit the rest of the town. So I think it's a win-win situation all the way around.
Excellent. Thank you. For the Harbor Master, people here, on November 20th, 2017, at 6:40 PM in Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws, Section 3700, the Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the Town of Scituate Harbor Master to remove and replace fixed pier, redesign gangway for ADA compliance, and repair existing seawall on the property located at 100 Cole Parkway, Scituate. Butters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Brad Saunders. I'm with GEI Consultants. We're representing the town this evening. Of course, you know your harbor master, and Verusian Hagopian, who's the project engineer on this project. Who do I turn these cards into?
Right there. If you would, thank you.
Okay, so the project really began, I think it's August 1st. GEI was hired to come in and do an inspection of the property, to see what the conditions were, and to recommend rehab aspects. So on August 1st, the inspection was held, and it was found that the existing fixed timber pier, right here, this, by the way, is the harbor master's office, and this is the large parking lot at Cole Parkway. It was found that that fixed pier is nearing the end of its useful life. It's starting to really deteriorate. So there was a need to address that. It was also found that the existing gangway is not ADA compliant. It's too short and as a result too steep. It was found that the existing seawall along the edge here, there are segments that are exhibiting spalling and cracks. The toe is becoming undermined. Some of the stones there at the top of the revetment have shifted. It was also found that, of course, you probably realize this, but the float system is held in place by block and chain anchoring. So it sort of shifts around on the water surface. And it was found with all the measurements that, at least as of this year, the surface area of the floats represents 14,360 square feet. I will point out later, though, that there is existing permits from when this was first put in that allowed floats up to 16,000 some square feet. So it's just that's the condition that happened to be this year. So the proposed improvements. The first improvement we were looking at is addressing the existing fixed pier and dealing with the ADA compliance issues. The way to do that, really the only way to do that because of the distance that you have here, is to remove the fixed pier the way it is now, which extends out vertically, if you will, from the shoreline, and remove that and put a new fixed pier beside it, running horizontal to the shoreline. That fixed pier area would actually be 16 by 30. That would allow for enough room to have a 80-foot long gangway, which would then provide the slope that you need. Going to resurface the damaged portions of the seawall and repair the stonework at the toe as necessary to fill in the gaps and to stabilize that. We're proposing to replace the block and chain anchoring system with pile supports. Currently, there's 60 blocks and chains out there holding the floats in place. Of course, when you get lower tide conditions, those chains tend to drag on the bottom and scour the bottom of the harbor. The piles will completely eliminate that. There'll also be only 47 piles as opposed to 60 4-foot by 4-foot blocks. And the result will be that the blocks currently occupy some 960 square feet of the harbor bottom. The piles will occupy 37 square feet. So there's a huge reduction in the area of direct disturbance from the blocks to the piles.
How big are those blocks?
4 by 4.
Oh,
By 4.
they're huge. Yeah,
Massive.
yeah. I had no idea they were that big.
Yeah. And then lastly, we're proposing to increase the width of some of the floats. The finger floats right now are only 2 feet wide. Industry standard was really to get to 3 feet on that. And the width of the main floats is 7 feet. Again, the industry standard is 8 feet. So we want to increase those widths. But we have one issue out there, of course. We have the federal navigation anchorage right out there, which includes part of the float system. We can't encroach any further into that area. We have received a letter from the Corps that says our proposal right now is consistent with the previous approvals, and therefore no additional approval from the Corps for placing structures within that anchorage is necessary.
Let me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said you got correspondence on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you
Can
like
we
a
make
copy?
sure? I was just going
Yeah.
to say, can we make sure that
Yeah.
it gets
Yeah,
in?
that just came through last week.
Okay, thank you.
Just so we have it on file.
So as a result of that, we really can't change the size of the floats within that anchorage area. So the increase in widths will be on the floats located outside of that anchorage area.
You can't even widen the finger piers in that area, because it won't encroach anymore, but,
No, they don't want any more square footage
yes.
within that.
There's correction. As long as we don't increase beyond the square footage that originally, when the permits were given.
Okay.
So we got about 2,000 square foot plus or
So
minus.
that's what we want.
Right, it's not just about encroachment,
Well,
it's
we have
about
two
square.
things. We have two things. One is for reconfiguration of the slope, of the floats. We do have some flexibility of that, but to increase the surface area of the float surface,
Mhm.
Gonna keep that.
it
Yeah.
needs to stay the same. So that's why we can't widen the floats. Okay, so from the standpoint of impacts, as I said, we're going to be reducing the impacts to the bottom, the harbor bottom, from 960 square feet, which is from the blocks. And that's not even including the stuff that may happen with the chains down there. We're going to replace that with the piles and reduce it to 37 square feet. We're going to be eliminating the scraping of the harbor bottom with the chains. We will be restoring the structural integrity of the seawall, both in terms of repairing the toe stones and also repairing the spalling and cracks.
I do have images, if you like to see.
Would you mind bringing those up?
Not at all.
Appreciate it.
And these images actually shows you the damage and deterioration that we have on the seawall. As you can see, there is low cracks and things. And the toes, right underneath, there is some missing rocks. So the seawall is in good shape, relatively good shape, but once we do the fix, you eliminate any further deterioration of the wall, so you extend its life for years. These are series of images, and you can have them, I can leave them with you. There's the aerial, there's the existing pier, and then the gangway. It's really deteriorated, which we're gonna eliminate. And this is a closer shot. As you can see, the wood is literally falling apart, and it needs to be addressed because it's a safety hazard.
And you need that longer run for the,
Correct.
the grade,
Right.
yeah.
Right, because once we do
Reduce
the
the-
longer run.
Yeah.
And this is a picture is taken down that shows you that the riprap goes quite a ways out. So the way we oriented the fixed pier, it's really gonna be sitting over the riprap. So we are not really gonna
Disturbing,
shade or
yeah.
disturb any new good subtidal habitat.
Mm-hmm.
It's all gonna be over the riprap.
Did fisheries have to look at this?
Yes, we have a letter, which we will give you a copy as well, from the fisheries, that they see no issues whatsoever.
And
Have
Amy
you
has
seen
it.
these? Amy, have you seen the pictures?
I can leave those with you, and
Yeah.
these are very good. And here's again, just a shot in terms of once the gangway and that gets replaced. And this is what the new gangway will look like. It will be a lot longer, it will a lot more ADA friendly. We'll have two rails, one on the top and one on the middle, say if you are
Can't roll through.
helping yourself and you are in a wheelchair or something, you'll be able to navigate much more friendly and gently. So these are here for you for part of the files if you like.
Yes, it would be good for the
And I
files.
have a letter. All right, go ahead.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Will the floats stay in the water on here now? So we won't be on Cole Parkway with the,
Right. The only floats this year that are coming out
yeah,
of the water are already out.
yeah,
They're
I
further
was down there.
The rest of them we're taking across to the other side. We're going to start the de-icing project, which will start over at the Maritime Center, and once the piling project is completed here, then we'll expand it over to this side as well. So they'll all stay in the water where they're at.
Okay. That's good. Good.
Less wear and tear on the buildings and on my back.
I was going to say, that's wear and tear on you, too.
It's a whole lot easier to just leave them.
You know, a lot of people, they're not happy with all those floats in the parking
Well, that's
lot.
why we took as few out as possible,
Yeah.
moved further down the other
Yeah,
end.
right.
So that people could park, still go up and see.
Yeah,
Thank you,
very
Steve.
good, very good.
It's a lot of work to move those floats.
Yes, it is.
Every year.
And every time it happens, a
year.
little damage occurs.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, in the long run, this is much, much better.
About, I think my first year, it cost us, the town, just under, or the Waterways Enterprise Fund, just under $50,000 when you take them in and pulling them out.
Right.
You can use it elsewhere.
Or if there was a little bit of damage during the season, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like money in the bank.
You're saving 50 a year, you're banking theoretically, yes.
Yes.
Very good.
So the only other things I wanted to say was that, again, we received the Division of Marine Fisheries letter. They had no recommendations, no suggestions to lessen anything. We are also subject to a NISA review by Natural Heritage Program because they have a hatched
Yeah.
space out
Yeah.
here. And so we're waiting to hear from them. We haven't received any findings.
Okay.
And that's about it. We will be submitting a Chapter 91 license application for
After you
this.
get on.
Yeah, and so you'll get one of those little forms that has to
Mhm.
say that it's in compliance.
We will be submitting this Army Corps of Engineers permit as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good project, especially, and I like that we're not going to be disturbing the bottom there anymore. With the-
Removing the stone and
Yeah.
I think the Division of Marine Fisheries are like that too.
Well, yeah.
They made mention of that.
Yeah. No, that's.
eelgrass might actually grow back.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
So how will the stone be removed and where will it go?
The stone, we're gonna dismantle it, take them out,
Lift it up.
and we're gonna stockpile it, and we're gonna ask the town if it has a use for it. So if they say take it somewhere, or whatever, or one of their yards, stockpile it there for future use, because these are granite blocks, good stuff. And if the town doesn't want it, then part of the bid document will obligate the contractor to take them away, dispose them, or sell them, whatever. And all the chain and material will be, of course, taken out, scrap metal, and
Clean it up. Pick up the mess.
No,
Questions?
no questions.
No, great improvement.
What are the pilings made of?
we're doing analysis of the piles, of course, for strength, for material, for longevity and all that stuff. As you know, we have pressure-treated wood, we have green heart, we have steel, and we have composite, 2 types of composite. And right now, with the economics and all that stuff, it's most likely will be either steel or a composite. We're not gonna use pressure-treated wood because that's short-lived and it's not strong enough. Plus, we are designing the system with the anticipation that sea level rise will materialize in the next 30, 40 years. So the system, the piles will be long enough. So if we get a nasty hurricane or whatever, or a strong nor'easter or whatever, and we get high sea level, so the system does not disengage from the piles.
And how will the piles be installed?
The piles will be driven into the existing. We did a boring analysis.
Yeah.
We have 5 feet of combination mud and sand. Below that, we have a layer of gravel, and then we have a stiff clay. Next week, we're going to be doing a couple more probes, because when we drive the pile, we want to make sure the piles are embedded about 15 feet into that soil. And that's what's going to hold the pile in place when the floats are high enough for overturning, so the whole thing stays put in this.
And about how many piles are you talking about?
The total piles.
For the floats, 47,
Yeah,
and then 6 associated with the fixed pier.
and we'll be a lot less than what you have over there as a coverage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the other good thing with steel is if you do get a bad freeze sometime, it doesn't pull them out. The ice doesn't pull the steel out.
We overdrive them, so you don't get the frosty.
Right.
We're also doing de-icing.
You gonna put
De-icers-
bubblers or?
De-icers.
Okay.
Bubblers, it's limited, the de-icers will keep that area so that ice does not form.
Good.
Is that where the water's moving?
The water will be moving, you'll see it,
Yeah.
it'll be a little turbulent,
Mhm.
takes the warmer water up from the bottom.
Yeah.
It's up.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Jen?
In the beginning, you made, and I didn't exactly follow it, some comment about it was approved for 16,000 at some point, and now it's 14,000. Are you using the 2,000 again, or not?
Yeah, with the enlargement of the finger piers by another foot,
Okay,
and the main piers by another foot to get to industry standards, we'll be back to the 16,300 square feet. It's
Okay.
already been approved.
so it's, which way is it growing? Is it growing?
The width,
No,
Just
that layout, just
These
everything's a little
finger piers
wider.
here, they'll get 1 foot wider.
Oh, okay,
The floats here, they'll
Yeah.
get 1 foot wider.
okay.
If you are a trapeze artist, you can walk on 2 feet. But these things moving around.
Yeah,
So 3 feet is the more comfort level, especially for ADA as well. So you can't really manage it.
But that's the difference in the square foot.
okay.
Amy, what do we run up against on regulations here? Is there anything they didn't cover?
No, looks like it's a pretty thorough application, and I'm just wondering if we can close without some of the approvals, like the NISA approval, you know, we might go to close pending receipt of. Did CVM weigh in on this project at all? The DEP didn't have any official comment when they issued the file number. I think everybody thinks it's a big improvement for public interest, and, you know, it's a good project for the town, so.
We will be filing a pre-construction notification with the Corps, and CZM will certainly be involved in that review as one of the agencies that's involved in the for review process.
We did have a meeting on site, which we invited DEP and Corps of Engineers representatives to come and spend an hour with us, walk through, review what we are doing and all that, and this was, the application was filed after that.
Yeah, we had an engineer from the Corps Navigation branch was at that meeting. Dave Hill from DEP, who's the waterways person, he was there.
So when do you expect MIPA, was it? We haven't heard from
Misa.
MISA. Pardon me. MISA, when do you expect something from them?
I would have expected something now, but typically they say in 30 days, right? After it's been submitted, so it was submitted to them at the same time the notice of intent was submitted, because they used the same form.
Yeah.
But we're also just approving it for us.
Yeah.
We don't have authority to approve it. If somebody else has a problem,
Right.
Oh,
even
yeah.
if they say no, we say
No.
it's a good project, we like it, we can
Yeah.
vote.
And it'll be 2 weeks before they get the
Right.
users. So in that time.
So you think
frame,
it's safe to close it, just
Yeah.
pending MISA? There wouldn't be any changes that you
And
could see?
any other regulatory
Any other.
agency approvals.
How
Did you
long,
get
how
all that,
long
Carol?
from start
The
to
only
finish
thing
do you
I
think
would
it'll take?
anticipate
One second,
from maybe the MISA review might be a time of year restriction on
Oh,
the
yeah.
lighting of the piles, but we don't even know what the rare species is that's out there.
To answer your question about construction, right? We want to do it either in the spring, before the season starts, or after the season in the fall. So right now, it's all subject to Chapter 91 approval, because Chapter 9 always takes the longest to get approval from them. If we can get it done by January, February, and we can finalize the documents very easily and bid the project, we'll be able to construct it in the spring. We can do the entire construction in 2 months.
Oh, that fast?
And I know there have been restrictions on other places where docks have been changed or something like that, where there'd been
Time of year restriction.
time of year
Yeah.
restrictions, yeah.
Same thing, we've had dredging in the harbor at
Yeah.
the wharf, and
We still
Yeah.
follow that.
yeah.
So if things get squeezed on us and we can't really meet that window, then we will do it in 2018 in the fall,
In the fall.
after the Marina Constitution was.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, it takes some time to get the Chapter 91 license too.
Yes. It's all permitting and
Okay. I'd ask anybody in the audience, but
Nobody's out there.
They're missing out on this.
it's not a lack of interest. It's the week.
Yes,
maybe.
everyone's
Yeah.
busy. I make a motion to close.
Second.
Pending notification.
Yeah, well,
The permissions, whatever it is.
yes.
I
Whatever
wouldn't-
Amy
okay,
said.
yeah.
Pending Misa,
Carol got it all, didn't you?
pending Misa.
Yeah,
And
and
you
anyone
seconded?
else.
Second.
All in favor?
Chime in.
Aye.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy
Have a good night,
Thanksgiving.
Steve. Have a nice.
Thanksgiving to you all.
Yes.
Thank you.
May your next Monday be more fun than tonight.
What do you mean?
What's next Monday?
We're a fun.
You won't be here, right?
We won't be here.
Yeah, conservation.
We won't either.
Did I say, is it Monday Night Football?
Oh, I don't know.
That hasn't even started yet.
Right, I think, you know.
Where's my friggin' agenda? Penny, Pin Oak Drive is being continued.
Yes, I make a motion to continue 10 Pin Oak to December 11th at 6:45,
And why was that continued?
because they're not ready.
You want to second that, Lisa?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. And Toll Brothers also requested a continuance.
Okay, wait a second, they're not on yet. I make a motion that we continue the Toll Brothers.
Just to the last hearing.
Yeah, no, definitely. To December 11th at 7 o'clock.
7, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Second?
You want to second that, Paul?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I expect that they actually will come in next week.
On the 11th?
Yes.
Yeah.
It appears progress is being made, so
Yeah.
we might have something to talk about.
Okay, and so just to remind, well, Frank's not here, but the four of us, we do need to be here for that one.
Right, I don't know about you guys, I communicated with Amy that I would be there, because, and, you know, Toll Brothers had canceled.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm working, but I'll work to move that trip in the meantime, so I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Well, you could miss one.
What time is 10
Yeah.
Pin Oak on for?
6:25.
Thank you, ma'am.
Paul, have you missed any of the
No.
full meetings?
He hasn't.
So you could miss one.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It may not take many more, honestly.
No, with us, I think, once they settle with us, I don't think there's a lot more to show us, just
Well, we
address some of the
wanted to see
peer review stuff.
The
and-
stormwater wasn't done.
Right.
Completed and-
But I mean, overall,
Yeah,
the
no.
project, we've basically seen most of what it's going to entail, except for detail stuff and peer
Yeah,
review.
and we got
Yeah.
our replication,
Okay.
which was great.
They're doing everything we asked them to do.
So far.
Okay, so,
Frank has a few more up his sleeve.
yeah. So the only other thing I see at the moment, until I'm corrected, is any news on outstanding enforcements.
Our favorite subject.
And you may not have any.
Art.
Where do you
It's okay to
start?
say
No,
none.
I mean, I don't think that there's anything substantial to report on this week, really.
I know Pat's been working on them. And you have too?
Things have been, yeah, things are happening.
Okay.
Things are
Wednesday,
active. Things are happening.
Wednesday.
We've got a possible new one, too, a new old one.
yeah.
Did I see an email that there's something on Candlewood going on again, or?
Oh, well, no, not really.
Okay.
what, Candlewood, the update with that one is that.
Brad wanted to know what was
Nobody really
going
wants to
on.
work out there, so.
Okay.
we've got- It's not really our problem, to tell you the truth, but
Yeah.
I think we were trying to facilitate matters, and the wetland scientist who worked out there previously is not interested in continuing to work up there, so.
I wonder why. And Gardner Road this Wednesday,
Wednesday morning, gardeners.
9:15.
Yep.
Lucas will be out there, our wetlands guy.
So, what, just out of curiosity, what was the name of the foundation in Hummerock around the pilings?
24 Webster,
Yeah.
that's, I think it's still with legal.
Okay, so they're still banging
is still
away?
legal.
It is still legal.
And nothing's been done
Nothing.
at all,
No.
in any direction.
On that one.
We have letters that, like, I've been sent out some new letters. Penny and I went over a few other letters.
Yeah, it needs
So,
to go.
I mean, we just gotta stay on top of things.
They
you know what
just
I mean?
keep
You don't-
popping up,
Right.
new ones.
Oh, it won't
Get
stop.
about the-
Well,
won't
it's not
stop.
gonna stop.
I
Yeah.
know.
Well,
Hopefully,
at this time of year, you can really start seeing stuff too, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you do see something that you think is a resource area alteration, definitely pick up the phone and give us a call. And take some pictures, I'll get out there, we'll send them a letter.
Yeah. And if we send,
Just get me a copy of the letters so then I can update this.
okay. Once
The
a letter,
spreadsheet Nazi.
gotta go.
I have a spreadsheet.
this is a curiosity. Once, if you send a letter to a property owner that we have concern, does that then give you, the agent, the right to go on the property to? No. How do we get the right to go in view?
Well, I mean, so the guidance is going to recommend that you try to develop a rapport with the property owner and get, you know, have them invite you on, so that it's
Right.
an amicable situation. But that, short of that, then you go to notice a violation, turns into an enforcement order, and, you know, start going down the path and get on there. So, I know the one you're thinking of, probably.
Well, I'm thinking of two right now, and one that, you know, we never actually got a planning plan on,
Which one's that?
the fence.
Oh,
I don't want to say the address because it's on TV and they haven't been notified. That the last time we were out there because of badness, I do believe they were supposed to get a planning plan into us to how they were going to fix it. And I don't think we ever got one. So, I mean, I want to see what's behind door one.
that one should be on Lisa's list, hoping.
You two can talk after the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
we've got these work groups going on. Actually, Lisa came up with a fabulous suggestion the other day. We were talking about how if commissioners have certain areas of interest that they want to hone in on and do special projects, homework, reading assignments, that would be great. Get little, I don't know, make it more fun than just a septic system review. Jen's interested in trails, right?
Yeah, and she's also into techie and.
I love spreadsheets.
Yeah, she
Oh,
loves
perfect.
spreadsheets,
Oh,
so.
my word, the
Yep.
right-hand side of this is really going heavy. Yeah, this is good. This is good.
No, Lisa wants it
That's right, yep.
in the cloud, so when we're sleeping at night, we can pop our fields into this spreadsheet, right?
Well, it'll be nice because a lot of times when we hear this stuff, we don't know or don't remember the history or how many times it was continued or what did they no-show for a meeting. So underneath every single one of these enforcements, there will be tabs that you can actually click into and it'll show you a history.
Excellent. And
For those of you that don't have a photographic memory, because I don't.
Well, one of the areas that I see that probably needs attention is once we have the orders issued, and now these projects are going to construction, we have so many that have been issued over the course of a year or so, that they don't always start constructing right away.
No, a
But
lot
it's
don't.
to try to keep, our fingers on the pulse of what's going on the active projects, and make sure that they're not, going sideways out there, so.
Which has happened.
Well, they have but isn't it usually a 3-year window to do
Yeah.
a project? Yeah.
The permit is valid for 3 years,
Right.
but, some people start right away and others,
Some people come back in 3 years and want to extend the
Extension.
window.
Yep.
We, had someone come back recently and just cancel the whole project, they never did it.
Yeah, right, right.
So, okay.
And,
All right, a couple of other quick things. From now on, the meetings are going to be at 6:15, correct? And I'm not correcting you, I'm just actually letting people know on TV or whatever that we're going back to 6:15 starts from now on. And secondly, we're going to need a waiver for, to have a lack of a meeting from December 11th to January 8th. That is a long period of time. I don't know if we take care of that tonight, or you do it next meeting.
I think we have them all already.
Already? Okay.
Now, do we have to post it on the website?
yes, we'll have it on the website, but our filing deadline for January 8th, do we know that? Do you know that, Carol, off the top of your head? No, anybody with a phone, with a calendar?
Yes?
Mine's off.
yes.
I got a calendar. What do you need?
Weeks prior from the 8th.
2 weeks from prior to the 8th would be Christmas Day, December 25th. So it would have to be,
Friday
the
before.
22nd, December 22nd,
Yeah,
Okay,
okay?
all
Let's
good.
just make sure, and I would imagine it would be good if we could get next year's schedule posted too, soon, meeting schedule.
I think I have them.
Okay.
Well, you gave it to.
You gave it to
Oh,
us.
we have it, but posted on the website?
I think I have.
Oh, you did?
Okay, then way
I think
ahead,
I did.
Okay,
I'll check, but.
Way ahead.
I'm pretty
You know
sure I
what,
did.
you're always on top of things.
Not always.
Thank goodness.
But I never go on the web.
all right.
She
Is
doesn't
there
know
anything
where to
else we
find it.
need to go over tonight?
I don't think so.
want to approve the minutes?
We
I thought we did.
We did.
Yep, we already did that.
Coastal Advisory Commission?
They had a very brief meeting, I'm not on it anymore, my wife is, and I can tell, and Frank was there too, and I
It
did
was
see
really
him.
brief.
It was very brief, and it was basically to get assignments for who was going to do what within the committee. And the only person I know of, again, is Linda, who was doing all of the web stuff. I do not know more than that, other than their next meeting is scheduled for December 20th. That's all I can tell you on that one.
Sounds good.
So if there is nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can I just think for 1 second?
No.
There's something else I wanted to do, but I think it was maybe after. Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
I
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No shortage that time.
And happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving to everybody.